Hi, I just wanted to share a quick testimony really with you all about what September 11th means to me. Um, Not really the date per se or what the meaning of it is, just the significance of it for me. I I know a lot of people are probably in mourning today, um, just considering that they've lost family members and friends and um, colleagues and things of that nature um, in the Twin Towers. I'm not going to elaborate on what I believe that is, but I don't want to be, I don't want to desensitize the situation because I know it pulls on people's heartstrings. But I'm going to go ahead and explain to you what September 11th means to me and going forward what it means. Um, I 1 year ago today, and it should be, oh, it's 9:12. I said I was going to start recording this at 9:11, which I did. So 1 year ago today, I went to sleep. Okay, I went to sleep that night and I slept so hard. Mind you, I'm a light sleeper. I don't sleep very hard at all. And I could not wake up in the morning. Like, even with my alarm, I didn't want to get up. Like, I just wasn't, I was so groggy and so tired. And my son was like, Mom, are you okay? You're usually like really wide awake in the morning. And today you seem so sleepy. And I said, I don't really know what it is. Um, I had to drive kind of long distance to get my oil changed because I had relocated to a different county, but my car dealership was still in another county. So anyway, I drove to that place and I still felt not sleepy, but just out of sorts. So when I got there, I just was like, I'm gonna rest here for a minute. I didn't intend to fall asleep. I just happened to fall asleep. And I woke up to a phone call. And when I heard the phone ringing, it was unfamiliar. Everything around me was unfamiliar. I looked at the phone. I didn't know who was calling me. It was my mother, by the way. I didn't know who was calling me. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know where I was, why I was there. And I know that these disillusions sometimes come when you're in a deep sleep. This one was different. Okay, I've woken up at someone else's house like, where am I? But this was, who am I? Not where am I? It was like, who are you and why are you in this meat suit? Like, I didn't know who I was. I was not who I had been my whole life. I woke up a different being. I woke up with a different perception of reality. Everything, as far as the programming that I had received, the disillusions and things that I had been taught, everything was flipped upside down, and I really began to see things for what they were. I came to sorts and I realized I was Aslan, of course, but I knew from that moment it was a baptism for me. I woke up a different person. And I don't know how to explain that to people because they just were like, oh, well, I haven't really told this story to anyone. I mean, maybe my mom. And of course, she just, oh, you were just asleep and you woke up. No, 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 no. I'm not who you knew before. That's different than just being asleep. So all the cognitive dissonance. I mean, religion was taken from me. Everything was, don't mind this. I hold this when I need to speak and I use it for clarity. Um, Everything was different. Everything was different. And so I went amongst my day, and I had learned a few things like about spirituality, but really didn't understand the depth of it. But I went home that night and I tried to make sense of the whole situation, but I didn't really take it too serious. I just knew things were different. I went to bed that night, woke up in the middle of the night. This is when I still had my snake. She died recently and I love her to death, and I just am recalling the memory of her as I speak about it. I woke up And I kid you not, I had electricity coming from my fingertips. I brushed, this is the blanket actually, as a matter of fact. I brushed the blanket with my fingers. Look here, can you see it? I brushed the blanket with my fingers and it was electric. It lit up. And I didn't know what exactly was going on. I mean, it felt good because I'm like, what? What's going on? You know, I all of a sudden began to understand the supernatural, natural powers that we carry, that we possess. I began to understand that we truly are spiritual beings. Now, I've learned this. I grew up as a Christian, so I've learned this, semi-learned it in the church, but couldn't really put it in a physical manner. Like, I've learned that, you know, we're spirit, and, you know, God made our flesh, and we are just here, but we're not to be of the world. We're just in it. But I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it because the Christian church has quite a way of twisting things, although you may not know that or understand that. I'm going to bring that knowledge to you as well. I couldn't believe it. The next day, everybody, it's like my children must have went through it as well. I don't know if it's like a transformation that happened with me and then it just overflows into them. We couldn't turn on a light. Everything was the magnetism, and it was crazy. Everything was going haywire in this house. The lights, we were just smashing light bulb after light bulb after light bulb, and not like smashing them, but meaning like they just blew for no good reason. And then when we would change the light bulbs, we try to use the switch, we flip the switch on, and psh, I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I knew it was an energy field. I knew it was a connection of sorts because we couldn't make sense of it. It happened for days. It began to slowly go away. But what September 11th for me, and I would just like to know if there's other people who also experience this around the same time, because I know the collective tends to go through things, you know, semi within the same time frame. I felt like that was my birthday. I feel as though September 11th is a rebirth and was a rebirth of who I am. I am no longer the person I was 1 year ago today. Kundalini energy is real, okay? We possess so much power. We possess the whole galaxy inside of us. It's the most beautiful thing I'd ever experienced. I hope someone is listening that can relate. I know there's a community of people out here that can relate, but I would really love this to resonate with the people that matter most to me, my family, my friends. Ever since, first of all, the whole year has been a whole journey since then. A whole journey. So many things I've realized. I've purged so many things from myself that were toxic, that were damaging, things that I need to heal from, childhood issues, relationship issues, not feeling worthy, not feeling good enough, just really beating myself up all these years. And it's been so beautiful and so rewarding and so enlightening. And I just wanted to share it with people, because for those of you that feel hopeless, that feel like there is no hope, and even as you look to a God, as you look to a sky daddy, you are your own hope, people. You are your own hope. There's nothing outside of you, external to you, that matters. Nothing. Everything around you is an illusion. And I know you've heard this a time or two, but it's the truth. Everything outside of you is an illusion, and the only thing that ever mattered is what is inside of you. So when they externalize a God or a Christ, that is therefore taking the essence of yourself away from it. And Christ is one with you. There is no separation. The separation is the sin. So there's so many great, really awesome things that I've come to learn and have cultivated within myself. Heavy downloads, spiritual information, wisdom, all these things that have been granted to me. Not anything I could learn, not anything I could do myself. It is Christ within me that has done these things, and it is so amazingly beautiful to blossom and flower in the way that I have, and to be proud of it, to actually understand what your mission is, to know what your purpose is, and not to believe or think, or we're done believing, we're done thinking. This is the age of I know. This is the age of Aquarius. So happy birthday to me, and happy birthday to those of you who have gone through this spiritual awakening. It's going to be a beautiful path.